Hello, it's Julia. This is my Saturday Substack Summary for July 28th, 2025. We're halfway through almost Project 2025. I've decided I'm going to do 15 minutes and 15 minutes only of my Saturday Substack Summary every Saturday. Maybe I'll film it on Friday and post it on Saturday from now until the end of the year. That's my commitment. And I'm going to put a few minutes of it up on YouTube, but the whole 15 minutes on Substack. And I can't promise that it will be of interest to anyone. I know I'm a terrible self-promoter, but anyway, I'm really off social media. I'm not on X, Twitter. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky. I have very few followers, but I've thought a lot about what I want to be on social media, and I just decided for me, it's this Substack. So here I am. Now, I can't promise I'm going to read all the responses, but I might. That was one of the things that hung me up, is I feel like I did my videos and then I got all caught up in how many people had watched it and what the responses were. And that's the part I really don't want to do. So I'm just going to do this and see who's interested in watching it. Okay, here we are. It's the end of June, almost July. The second half of the year is about to start. I've spent almost 3 months in New York City of the last 6, and it's been fabulous. I did the SNL 50th, then I did an off-Broadway show with Marcia Mason and Mary Lou Henner and Benji K. Thomas that Joy Behar wrote in this wonderful little theater near Lincoln Center. It was incredibly fun. All these women were so amazing. It was an absolutely perfect experience. Then I went back because these people made this documentary about the Pat character, dealing with the Pat character and the trans community's response to the Pat character, called We Are Pat, that premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival. And there were 3 screenings of the movie, and then the It's Pat movie, which seems to be being revived a bit. It showed in LA. You know, it got the worst reviews of all time, by the way. Do you know that the Variety headline review, the headline to the review for the Variety review for the It's Pat movie was shockingly unfunny. And I think I kind of took that on myself. Like, I guess it wasn't that good. And I only watched it once since it came out with my daughter when she was 12. So she's 25 now. And I barely could watch it without watching her watch it and think, what must she be thinking? So I didn't really watch it. Anyway, in LA, when they showed it to a very enthusiastic crowd, and the right crowd, I realized I'm really proud of it. Yes, there's parts of it I'm not proud of. I don't like how Pat sneezes on things and gurgles and sprays spit all over the place. Why was I doing that? I think it's because the original person I was copying did that. But looking back on it, I should have dropped that. But everything else about Pat, I really kind of love. I'm kind of in love that I did Pat, and the documentary, which is a balanced analysis of the Pat character and its impact on the culture. But I would say comes down favorably on Pat, while it still has legitimate criticisms of the character. And it's such a blessing to me, because it's kind of like if you did this thing 30 years ago that you're half proud of and half embarrassed about, and then you go on with your life and, you know, people know about it, but you learn to live with that and you just kind of mostly don't think about it. And then 30 years later, someone makes you think about it. Like, I did interviews for 5 years for this documentary, and realize that I am really proud of it. And it's incredible to have that experience. I don't know if they sold the documentary yet to whatever outlet, but for me, it's already a win-win-win, because I feel like I changed my attitude about Pat and myself, much more benevolent and understanding. And I hate when people say this, but I'm going to say it. Pat really was ahead of its time. The audience wasn't ready for the jokes that we were telling. Now, were we naive and idiots doing it? Cisgendered people who were making this film about a non-binary person, even though I didn't have that word for non-binary, and I never thought Pat was non-binary. I thought Pat was a man or a woman. You just couldn't tell which Pat was, and Pat was probably heterosexual and maybe even homophobic. That was my little joke about Pat to myself. But anyway, all in all, though, I see that Disney really didn't even try to find the right audience for this film, and America probably wasn't ready for it. But it's now my firm opinion that we were really ahead of our time, kind of.